So up to this point, aside from the first one, critics have not cared for the Jurassic World movies. Yet they continue to make them. Well, I guess life finds a way. What's up, guys? So I just got out of seeing Jurassic World Dominion, and I wanted to give you guys a review of it. While it's fresh in my head, I wanted to talk to you guys about it. This was easily one of my most anticipated movies of this year. I've been anticipating this movie since Fallen Kingdom came out. If you're a fan of the channel, you know that I liked Fallen Kingdom, and I liked Fallen Kingdom for a lot of reasons, one of which being the fact that it had a lot of horror elements to it, which I really appreciated. So, coming into Dominion, although I knew it was back to Colin Trevorrow as the director instead of J.A. Bayona, I knew it was going to be less horror, centric and kind of more back to the Jurassic World, big bombastic action fun. And I'm here to tell you the critics are wrong. This movie is really good. Now, before I get into what I mean by good, because obviously this is all subjective, I wanted to give you guys a quick plot summary of Jurassic World Dominion. So obviously we know that at the end of Fallen Kingdom, the dinosaurs pretty much are on the mainland, and Claire and Owen take in Maisie as their own, and they're going to keep her safe and essentially probably raise her. That's what we expect, at least. And that is pretty much what happens. It picks up 4 years later. They're kind of living in isolation, I believe, in Nevada. Could be totally wrong. And we get a recap of what's been going on in the last 4 years with the dinosaurs on the mainland. Obviously people are hunting Maisie, and they're also hunting Blue, but Blue has a baby. So they capture Maisie and Blue's baby, and the movie is really about Owen and Claire going to find out where she is, why they took her, and get her back. And then the original trio of Doctors Alan Grant, Ellie Sattler, and Ian Malcolm going to the same place for totally different reasons. And I don't want to spoil what that is. Both paths converge in a really big, awesome third act of the movie. And that's basically the plot of Jurassic World Dominion. So, first of all, what did I not like about it? I'll just get the bad out of the way first before I talk about what I really did enjoy about it. There are some pacing issues in the first act of this movie. There definitely are. There's a voiceover at the beginning that is just really bad when it's like a news thing, I don't know, documentary, whatever you want to call it. And it sounds really cringy. They definitely should have got somebody better. So it was already kind of And then there's just some structure issues in the first half hour or so of the movie, I would say. There are parts where it kind of lags, and I was worried, oh no, is this the type of movie we're going to get? Because I really don't want to dislike a Jurassic Park movie. I'm here to tell you that didn't end up happening, but so that's a downside. Another downside to this movie, and I think really the only other one that I have, is there are a lot of plot conveniences and things that are just kind of of course that would happen. Of course this person would be here at this perfect time to do this exact thing when it's needed at that exact moment. But again, it's an action movie, so can you really tear a movie down for plot conveniences? Not really. It's kind of just part of the territory now. We just kind of have to accept it and move on. So now I want to get into the good of Jurassic World Dominion. And I decided I'm not going to do spoilers with this, guys. I mean, I'm just going to give you guys a basic, thoughts on the movie, what I liked, and if something is spoilerish, I'll warn you. But I just want to do this, kind of vaguely talk about what I liked. So first off, with what I liked, the visuals are freaking awesome. I mean, they're awesome. There's some visuals in this movie that look so real. And I know that they use animatronics sometimes in these movies to get that super real look at times of certain dinosaurs. And you can tell the difference sometimes, but the CG's great. I mean, they had a few years with COVID and everything to really perfect this movie, and it shows. It looks fantastic. So, got to give it up for that. I've got to give it up for the cast. And first and foremost, I want to talk about the original trio. We get the three of them back together, Sam Neill, Laura Dern, and Jeff Goldblum. And this isn't like your typical legacy sequel that we see where they just shoehorn them in. They don't really serve a giant purpose to the story. They're in a few scenes. No, I think they have more screen time than Chris Pratt. Dead serious. Not Malcolm. He doesn't really come in more till the end, the third act of the movie. But Laura Dern and Sam Neill, I would argue, are the leads of this movie. I mean, a lot of the movie does center around them. So it was great to have them back. They turned in great performances. The tension between Ellie and Alan is there from the very beginning, and it's like they didn't miss a beat. Jeff Goldblum is hilarious as Ian Malcolm. I mean, there's parts in the third act where he just delivers like one-liner after one-liner after one-liner, and I just like couldn't stop giggling. I mean, it's not like laugh out loud, but it's funny. Like, there's a lot of genuine hilarity to his character, so he didn't miss a step either. He's great. And then the way the paths converge of the new characters and the old characters for one common goal is really organic, and I really did enjoy it. I have questions about the organization Biosyn, what they were doing and why they were doing it, and I'm sure it was explained, but I was kind of paying attention to other things, and I get the gist of it, but that, I guess, is another con, is that I don't really understand a lot of that. I don't know if they even really try to explicitly tell us. So that's, kind of a bummer, but it's all organic. It all comes together really well, and they really work well off of each other. And Bryce Dallas Howard is fantastic in this movie, and I absolutely love the growth of her character. Claire has just grown from the first Jurassic World movie, and she's fantastic in this movie. She's also a scene stealer. She does a magnificent job. Really does. I want to make sure I say this right. The Giganotosaurus, yes, that is the big bad in this movie. Wow. This thing it looks amazing. It is very threatening. It's imposing. It is awesome. I mean, it is awesome. I feel like it's a little underserved with its screen time, and I feel like all three of the Jurassic World movies have done that with their big bad. And I just feel like there was more of the T-Rex in Jurassic Park, and that's why that big bad stands out so much. There wasn't enough Indoraptor for me in Fallen Kingdom. There wasn't enough Indominus Rex for me in Jurassic World. And there wasn't enough Giganotosaurus in Dominion for me. But it's so great. I can't not talk about how amazing it is, how imposing it is, and it looks incredible. The climax of this movie is just balls to the wall. It's like, I love it. I mean, I don't really know what to say. It's so fun. But there is an action sequence that takes place in Malta in the second act of this movie, and it is breathtaking. I mean, it's amazing. You see some of it in the trailer with the bike and the raptors chasing Chris Pratt. It is so much better than what you saw in the trailer. When I watched the trailer, I was always like, I don't know how I feel about that specific thing. It ended up being one of my favorite acts and parts of the movie. It was great. And another thing I got to mention is there's some genuine suspense in here. There's a suspenseful scene in the caverns. There's a suspenseful scene near the end of the movie with the owner of Biosyn, who's played by Peter Parker's dad, Scott Campbell. And so, for the first time, Fallen Kingdom had a little bit of it with the Indoraptor, but I felt some suspense in a Jurassic Park movie again, which was really, really cool, and I enjoyed that. Yeah, I mean, what else can I say? I mean, look, I'll spell this out as clear as I can. If you are coming to this movie for nostalgia, dinosaur action, and some laughs, you're going to have a great time. I mean, if you're coming for anything else, well, I don't know what you were expecting with a giant dinosaur movie. I feel like we unfairly compare these movies to the original too often, and it's not fair, because what we always have to remember about the original Jurassic Park is it was novel, it was new, it was incredible. We had never seen that done before like that on the big screen. You can't ever duplicate that. These will always live in the shadow of that movie. They're never going to have the impact of that movie. It's not new anymore, but that doesn't mean it's not enjoyable. So I really, really enjoyed Dominion. I need to watch it a few times and kind of get a feel of where I would put it in my ranking for the franchise, so I'm not going to get there yet. But I had a great time with this movie. I really think that it delivers in everything it needs to, aside from some weird plot issues, some structure issues in the first act of the movie, and some plot conveniences, and maybe a little bit not really truly expanding upon Biosyn and their goal here and their origins and their connection to InGen. It's all great. I loved it. I had a great time. So if I was going to rate Jurassic World Dominion out of 5 stars, I would give it 4 out of 5 stars, and I would say I highly recommend that you guys check out this movie. I'm someone that's enjoyed all 3 Jurassic World movies. I think all 3 of them are better than The Lost World and better than Jurassic Park 3. I think they're all worthy additions to the franchise, and I really enjoy them. So I can't recommend them enough, and I know they say this is going to be the end. It's not the end. It's just going to be a break for a while. They'll be back eventually. So that's going to do it. I hope you guys enjoyed this review of Jurassic World Dominion, and I hope you guys check it out in theaters. Check it out on the biggest screen possible as soon as you can. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like on this video. Comment down below. Let me know what you think of Jurassic World Dominion, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thanks so much, and this is Nick at the Lost River Drive-In, and I am pulling out.